Welcome to this fascinating video where we are about to reveal a discovery that will undoubtedly shock you. The Garden of Eden, the legendary paradise described in the Bible, has long been considered a mythological place, but what if we told you that it's not just a mere story? Recently, an incredible discovery has been made that has the potential to change our understanding of history and religion forever. In this video, we'll take you on a journey to explore the fascinating story behind this discovery and the evidence that supports it. So get ready to have your mind blown as we uncover the truth about the Garden of Eden. One subject that is sure to fire a cold conversation up is if the Garden of Eden ever existed. To religious people, it may be a no-brainer, but even those that do not believe in the Christian God may still believe in its existence. After all, there had to be some geographical location that gave credence to the Bible stories and thus the arguments. It certainly hasn't missed the attention of scientists who've been searching ancient texts for hints and any references that could help with identifying the location of the garden, and, as it turns out, recent work in the fields of remote sensing archaeology and DNA studies has offered some strong indications as to where it is, and what they found is truly terrifying. The Garden of Eden is a paradise on earth, described in the Old Testament book of Genesis as being inhabited by Adam and Eve, the first humans created by God, before they were banished for breaking God's laws. It is also referred to as the Garden of God and the Garden of Yahweh, the God of Israel in Genesis and Ezekiel respectively. The word Edith is mostly derived from the Sumerian word Eden, which means blame, and the Akkadian word Adino, which is a loaned word from Sumerian. Following the Genesis account of the creation and fall of man, rivers gushed from Eden to the east of Israel and all the way to the four corners of the globe. Similar towns found in the Sumerian archives suggest that the mythology of the ancient Middle East contained the idea of an earthly paradise. There have been hundreds of claims from many regions that suggest their areas as the actual locations of humanity's first home. Some of the most well-known claims are from Iraq and the Persian Gulf, Bahrain, Iran, Anatolia, Armenia, Turkey, Jerusalem, East Africa, and even the Isle of Lewis in Scotland and Jackson County in Missouri. But there has been little evidence to support those claims, leading many to wonder if you would ever be able to find out with certainty where the Garden of Eden was located. But there has been little evidence to support those claims, leading many to wonder if you would ever be able to find out with certainty where the garden was located or if it even existed. However, there had been credible theories about its location using the hints provided in the biblical text. It seems the age-old question might have had an obvious solution from the start. The most obvious hints are the rivers that were mentioned in the biblical texts, which are supposedly still identifiable today. According to the Bible's book of Genesis, the Garden of Eden is located in southern Mesopotamia, which in modern day is known as Iraq. The exact location of the garden is currently believed to be 35 miles north of Mosul, Iraq, and roughly an hour's drive from Islamic State control. There are two rivers mentioned in the biblical text. That indicates that the Persian Gulf's head could be a possible location. The first is the river Tigris, which translates to Hydakel of Eden, and the second is the great Euphrates River, which means the Parath of Eden. However, it was revealed during Morgan Freeman's The Story of God series that when archaeologists dug the area, they were shocked at what they found. They found a site dating back 11,000 years located between the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers. It is believed that more than 12,000 years of Sumerian, Assyrian, Chaldean, Persian, and Arab civilizations have grown and fallen on their periphery. Some anecdotal evidence also shows that organized farming, the early cities, and writing could have all started in this region. However, despite being depicted in the history books as a predominantly peaceful place, the current state of the home of the Garden of Eden is the complete opposite. Modern-day Iraq is a nation that's come to be associated with sectarian killings, suicide bombers, kidnappings, and refugees. The brutal after-effect of one of the most contentious and emotionally charged wars in recent history. Most of the damage done to the Mesopotamia region, especially the two main rivers mentioned in the biblical text, can be traced back to the actions of Iraq's most prominent dictator, Saddam Hussein, to punish the locals for supporting an uprising against his rule. Saddam diverted the area's water in the 1990s, causing it to drain. His government and soldiers drained thousands of square kilometers of marshland that had once been supplied by the rivers Tigris and Euphrates. The UN classed it as a cultural and ecological catastrophe on par with the disappearance of the Aral Sea or the devastation of the Amazon rainforest. Even seasoned engineers acknowledged that they were astounded by what Saddam's soldiers had accomplished. Saddam's soldiers removed 6,000 square kilometers of wetlands, an amazing feat of engineering and a huge task. They created new rivers, diverted the Euphrates away from the marsh, and intercepted the Tigris. They also burned the region's reed beds, and his dictatorship misrepresented it as increasing agricultural land availability, when in reality he was attempting to deny his opposition a base of operations despite the very obvious environmental harm being done by Saddam. Pressed on with his agenda because this project was political and spiteful, according to historians, the Marsh region had developed into a new hub of the Iraqi opposition by the 1990s and was predominantly populated by rebels. Luckily, Saddam was deposed before he could completely ruin the entire area, but there's no doubt that he did some remarkable damage to the region, which is believed to have housed the Garden of Eden. By the time he was removed from office, around 80,000 Madar or Marsh Arabs had lived there, in towns and on floating islands in 1991, when 450,000 people relied on the marshes were left displaced. 30,000 refugees went to the US and 70,000 to Iran. The remainder were relocated. The population of the biggest city had fallen from 67,000 to just 6,000 by 2003. With restorative efforts going on, the marshlands of southern Iraq were listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2016. Because of their variety and long history, part of its history goes beyond its connections to the ancient garden. The marshes are a part of Iraq's Wild East, a remote anarchic area where poor populations have a history of rejecting authority, according to British forces stationed there. To restore the marshes, the UN started an $11 million effort that included eliminating some of the obstructions that were preventing the water from entering the area. They are aiming to reverse the effects of a series of dams Turkey and Syria built to channel the water of the great Tigris and Euphrates rivers. And although water has resumed flowing through the marshes, its glow is nowhere near what it once was. Sadly, the region, which was only just recovering from Hussein's vindictive political actions, is now under a new threat. Marshes that were revitalizing themselves a few years ago with UN assistance are now merely vast stretches of cracked earth. The purported location of the garden was being hit by severe droughts. The devastating drought has ravaged a large portion of Iraq and neighboring nations over the previous years and now spread through southern Iraq, affecting thousands of residents of the area known as Marsh Arabs. Huge sections of the formerly green Hazaiwa marshes in the previously lush wetlands are now surrounded by dry stream beds and its vegetation is turning yellow. The local Lake Naz has been reduced to muddy puddles among mostly dry terrain. Tourist-friendly sections of the Gibbage marshes are experiencing the same fate. According to a resident who lives in a village next to Hawaiza, the marshes were their livelihood. They used to fish there. However, according to academics, the farmers and fishermen could be the ones destroying what's left of Iraq's marshes by utilizing unrestricted chemical use and electric shocks while fishing. These illegal practices are inadvertently killing animals, contaminating water, and risking human health and hindering the restoration of one of the greatest wetlands in the world. The Iraqi government is adamant that all the troubles of the past will soon be history, and that the supposed home of the Garden of Eden and Babylon, the birthplace of civilization, will develop into a tourist heaven. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey to uncover the truth about the Garden of Eden. We hope that this discovery has challenged your beliefs and opened up new perspectives on history and religion. While there is still much to learn and explore about this fascinating topic, we hope that this video has provided you with a glimpse into the potential realities of the past. Please leave a comment below and share your thoughts on this groundbreaking discovery. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.